Hey everyone, welcome to Achievement Through Attitude TV. I'm your host and attitude coach and hopefully attitude adjuster, Phil Stringer. This program is about getting your attitude adjusted or about getting your attitude right. It's about finding an attitude that gets your motor running, that gets your heart pumping. It's about the power of attitude and how the incredible power of attitude will allow you to go anywhere that you want to go in life. And hopefully what this show does is that it motivates, it inspires your attitudes to be amazing. Because the people that come on this show have all shared amazing stories of attitude and what attitude can achieve. Today, guys, we're going to talk about an attitude of never losing sight of your dreams. And sometimes that's difficult to do because life is tough. It's not easy. Life likes to bully us around a little bit and push us into a corner, and it takes us off our visions and our goals and our dreams. But I'm telling you that you can always find your dream somewhere inside of you. And all of the hardships and all the disappointments and all the falling down and getting up, all that is that's preparing us to handle and appreciate our dreams once we accomplish our dreams, once we reach our dreams. If you stay committed, if you stay passionate about it, if you do the work, if you're willing to earn it, you can make your dreams come true. You're never too old, and you are definitely never too young to make your dreams come true. If you are committed, and if you're willing to sacrifice, your dreams will come true. But above all else, you must remain fearless. Don't let anyone ever tell you what you can and cannot do, what you can and cannot achieve. Stay relentless, stay fearless, and keep pushing to make your dreams become a reality. And the gentleman that we have on the show today, he never, ever lost sight of all of his dreams. Not just one, but he had a couple. He was able to, he wanted to go to the moon, and he wanted to have a role in going to the moon, and he did that. He actually had an opportunity to work on Apollo 13. He was involved with the space program. But his other passions were art, and he paints beautiful portraits now, portraits, artwork and portraits. And he is also a historian. So guys, please stay tuned to Achievement Through Attitude TV to get your attitude adjusted with Mr. Chris Clayton next on Achievement Through Attitude TV. Hey everyone, welcome back to Achievement Through Attitude TV. Today's attitude, we're talking about never losing sight of your dreams. And I can't believe who's sitting next to me, actually, and my friends would be like, there's no way that you would ever be sitting beside a gentleman that actually had the opportunity to work on Apollo 13 and is basically involved in space. That's his passion, and it's Mr. Chris Clayton. Thank you for coming to Achievement Through Attitude TV.
Good to be here.
Well, when we talked before, when you were young, I guess you were 7, living in England.
Yes. And
you saw a show called Jet Morgan,
yes.
And then that's when it all started for you.
Yeah. I think I was around 7 years of age, and we used to have an old radio that had a lead-acid battery,
right.
And it was really weak, and you had to put my ear right to it. And it was a story, obviously science fiction at the time,
right.
But it actually followed quite closely what happened in Apollo. And I was glued to it, and,
right.
I became fixated on space and space exploration, and I just said, that's what I want to do.
So when you saw the show, you decided that you thought it'd be a good idea to go out in the backyard and try to build a rocket?
Oh yeah, I did that. I think actually today I'd be called a terrorist because...
You're probably right.
Because most of them blew up.
Right.
But yeah, I built rockets and I fired them off in the backyard.
Right, so guys, if your kids are out in the backyard after they watch a space program and they're building a rocket, you may have the next engineer on your hand that has an opportunity to send somebody into space. So you did that, and then you actually made yourself into an engineer because you said in school there's three things, I guess, that you
Yes.
said that you were good at.
Yeah.
You were good at art,
Art.
right? And you liked history,
Yes.
but you were really good at math and science.
Math and science were my best subjects, but I did very well in history and in art. But I looked at it from the point of view of which one would provide the best for a career.
Right.
And so this was England in the early 50s or during the 50s.
Right.
And so I decided that I would become an engineer, and that and I still had this dream about wanting to work on the space program.
And I loved it when we talked before. I'm a big JFK guy. We talked about him doing
Yeah.
this speech where he said, you know, why do we choose to go to the moon? We choose to go to the moon not because it is easy, but because it is hard. And that's what, you know, this program is about. It's about, you know, if you want to achieve your goals and keep your dreams alive, you got to do the hard things, and you did that to make those dreams come true.
That speech at Rice University, I was in 60 or 61 or something in that time frame, that went out all over the world.
Right.
And I heard it, and I said, somehow or other, I've got to be involved in that. And I'm living in England. I left school when I was 15.
Right.
I never went to college full time.
Right. Yeah, I
because
love
I went to work as an apprentice at a diesel engine company, and I got all the training, and I went through the shop in different areas and ended up in research. And during that period, I got a degree in mechanical engineering, and so that was my background, and so I had now what I needed to be an engineer.
Right.
And so then I worked in diesel engines for a period of time.
And then didn't the U.S. did they come to England to basically pick the brains and the minds of the people over there? And the next thing you know, you have an opportunity to work on the landing gear, basically for Apollo 13.
Apollo, yeah,
Apollo,
all the Apollos, yeah.
Okay.
And
we have a model here. It's right to the, I guess, to the right of us with the actual Apollo setup with the landing gear that you worked on. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, how I got involved in that was we'd gotten married, my wife and I, Anne, we were married in 1965,
Right.
and we were married 3 months, and I saw an ad in the paper, in one of the London papers, for a company in the United States, and they were advertising the lunar lander. And a year later, after going through all the visas and work permits and things like that, we emigrated to America. I was 23 years of age, and I just said, it's the opportunity to do something different. There is very little opportunity in England, and yeah, what you were referring to before, it was called brain drain.
Right. This is a picture with you and Buzz Aldrin.
Yeah, that was later when I was working on the X-33,
Right.
and that was at a reception at the Smithsonian.
Right.
And my wife and I, that's my wife Anne.
Beautiful lady.
And she and I had the privilege of meeting a lot of the astronauts. I worked with about 5 of them. Tom Stafford and Matt Ingley and
right. Now I know that you worked for GE for almost 30 years.
Yes.
Right. And all this led to you being able to pursue your dream of being able to have something to do with space.
Well, what happened, of course, when I got to work on the Apollo, it was 1967 when we finally came here, and so a lot of the work had been done because it landed in '69. Right. So I had a very brief period of working on it, and it didn't satisfy me. Right. But then, of course, it got into a period of layoffs, and the aerospace industry went through a downturn after the program had finished, the Apollo program, and a lot of the aerospace programs, the wide-body aircraft, and so on. So I got a job at General Electric in Evendale, And I progressed, and I lived there and worked for GE for 28 years and became an executive with them.
Well, I know that you traveled all over the world. And guys, when we come back, we're going to talk about where his travels did take him and the X33 project. So please stay tuned to get your attitude adjusted on Achievement Through Attitude TV. Hey everyone, welcome back to Achievement Through Attitude TV, where today we're talking about an attitude of never losing sight of your dreams with Mr. Chris Clayton, engineer, artist, and historian. And when we left off before, we were going to get ready to talk about where you went with this space program, which led you to this model that we have sitting in front of us, which was X33. And tell us a little bit about that.
Well, like I said, I only worked on the Apollo program for a very short period of time, and it wasn't I wasn't satisfied.
Right.
Many years later, 28 years later, I was invited to do a segment on television about Apollo 13.
Right.
And I had been down to Kennedy to watch the launches and things like that. And that was on television. And through a lot of serendipitous things, I got a call one day from a headhunter who said that would I like to work on the space program, and
there you go.
There it was.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be the director for Allied Signal, now Honeywell, who were involved in this program, which is
that's it right there.
Yeah, X33. Which is a scale model, or scale, half scale, of for a prototype for what is called a single stage to orbit vehicle to make space travel cheaper.
Oh,
and this model here, by the way, is the is a Venture Star, which was to be the commercial version of that.
That's very cool. It's very cool. So this just amazes me, and I can't let you get out of here without knowing. Have you ever been to Area 51? Come on. Oh, see, no answer on that one. And then I need to know, are there any aliens anywhere? The Roswell aliens. Do you know that? I got him.
I got a story. We don't have time, but I got a story.
Maybe
for that
next
one.
time we'll do that. But let's move on. You know, you said in school, math and science.
Yes.
Art. And then history, and your art is beautiful. You paint now, and you came back to that after how many years?
34 years, because I know, because from the last time I signed a painting to when I started again. Basically what I did, and I think this is very important from an attitude point of view, I still retained interest in the three subjects that I was interested and good at school. And so
still stirred around inside of you. That's what we talked about. It was always there. You just shelved it for a little bit.
Yeah. And I had the.
Oh, there's a painting right there that you did. It's very cool.
Yeah, very cool. Poppies. Yeah. I was fortunate, especially when I worked at GE, to be able to travel all over the world. And I took advantage of that because I would go to art galleries and museums in Paris and Rome, Tokyo, you know, all the different. And so I would. I kept an interest alive in all of the subjects I was good at.
That's very cool. That's a great attitude to have. You know, you can do everything. You know, you really can. And just so everybody knows that Chris's stuff's going to be on display September 23rd through Thanksgiving out at Honeyhorn. So feel free to get out there and check it out. And it's going to be your stuff with a couple other artists, right?
There's three other artists, and we have a show. It's called Exposition d'Art, the four of us, and it's a mixture of all different medium and so on. I think you'll enjoy it.
It's very cool, very cool. So please check it out. And now let's get to the third passion of yours, and it's Civil War history.
Yes, yes.
And how did you pick Civil War?
Again, a sort of circuitous or strange route. I landed in America at 23 years of age in South Bend, Indiana. And I said, you know, I think I'd better find out something about America. So I started reading about America, and actually the first book I ever bought was called The Civil War Day by Day. And I read that from cover to cover,
Right.
and I've been reading about it ever since. And
There you go.
and I obviously, on traveling all over the world, you have a lot of time on planes,
Right.
to read, and so I basically educated myself in that area.
Well, how cool was that? You got to pursue your dream of space, and then when you had downtime traveling around to
Yeah.
learn and share all your knowledge of space,
Yeah.
you picked up all the knowledge of the Civil War.
Yeah, but again, it comes back to my thought has always been, always decide what you're good at, and always decide what you're not good at, and don't bother about the things you're not good at.
Right.
Focus on what you've got to do and pursue your dream.
Right, and that's what you did. You did it with your science and math.
Yeah.
You did it with your history.
Yeah.
And then with the art. So I mean, it's an amazing story for people to listen to when you start making excuses. Well, I can't do this and I can't do that. Well, I've got living proof right here that you can do all of those things. You don't have to have just one dream. Because when you're pursuing one dream, you may find that it lends itself to the pursuit of your other dreams.
Yeah.
As you grow and evolve and your attitude changes.
Yeah. I think the other part of it is that when I retired, which is about 6 or 7 years ago now, you've got this reserve of interest.
Right. Well, and knowledge.
And knowledge.
Yeah.
And rather than just sitting down in a rocking chair or going playing golf every day, I can use those
to touch people's lives.
And I do all three pursuits. I am. Last year I was chairman of a group called the Science Fair Judges. We judge science fairs in Beaufort County.
And you raise money for kids to go and
to the
pursue that.
International Science Fair, yeah. And then currently I'm president of the Society of Bluffton Artists.
Okay.
And I, as well as having this show, of course. And I'm also president of the Civil War Roundtable in Bluffton.
So you're staying busy.
Just a little.
Staying busy. Well, Chris, thank you very much for coming on the show. And guys, when you think that you can't pursue your dreams, remember Chris Clayton, because he pursued all three of them and made them all reality. And thank you again for coming on the show.
Thanks
I appreciate it. It was
great
and fantastic. And none of my friends will believe that I was sitting next to an engineer that worked on the space program. So guys, thank you very much for tuning in to Achievement Through Attitude. Hey guys, remember every morning when you wake up and your feet hit the floor, you have the opportunity to do something amazing, to be amazing, to pursue your dreams, to never lose sight of your dreams. So let the power of attitude allow you to never hang your head and never surrender in the pursuit of what it is that you want in life. Thank you very much for tuning in to Achievement Through Attitude TV, and have an amazing week.